Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Vector, and today I got Dark Shadow X on here, and we're going to be talking about the HP controversy. If you want to introduce yourself, go ahead.
What's up, guys? I'm Shadow. Vaguely make content on YouTube, but I'm mostly on Twitter, just kind of talking Dokkan and just trying to have a good time.
Hell yeah. So today is like, I think this is a bit of a controversial topic right now. Like this, the 10th Annie in general is just quite controversial.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I see a lot of people on both sides of this issue. Or if you think it's an issue, a lot of people don't. And that's the inflated HP pools currently in Dokkan. So, like, what a lot of people are saying is like, well, damage has kind of lost its impact. Just because, you know, like, high damage units will do like a health bar and a half and just kind of screw off. But like, other people, you know, Shadow, if you want to explain your perspective some, go ahead.
So I do see the appeal of a super attack taking off like a ton of like of the health bars, seeing a bunch of them drop down. I get the appeal of that. I do think Dokkan has had this problem for a long time now, where it's either one or the other. Like it's either the bosses are a glass cannon, or for like I think for a very short time at the Legendary Goku event, it took quite a long time at the very beginning to take them down.
Oh yeah.
So I do understand that it's tough, balancing around that. But the reason why I feel like we're in a good spot here and now is because we've got multiple avenues. Like we've got different events where you can sort of take the boss down pretty quick, and other avenues where if you want to you want to chop down that wall little by little, you can definitely do that.
That is a good point.
Like I won't lie, I'm one of the people that have been waiting a long time for a really super long event. So Festival of Battles, while it's not perfect by any means, trust me, I 100% agree with that. I enjoy it. I play it multiple times.
Oh, I feel you there. I feel you there. Like I do like Festival. I definitely have, I think even the people who do like it have issues with it. But I mean, I think it's a pretty fun event. Like I can't say I'm doing it too often. Like I've replayed it a few times, but I can't say it's like often my first choice as something to play with when I open Dokkan. Like especially if I'm not streaming, just because it's just hopping into a festival run. That is a commitment, man.
Yes, 100%. I think
that's like my biggest problem with it, honestly. I think the event's fun enough.
I think something I threw out a while ago was what if one of the rewards for beating the event, beating the festival from all the way from the beginning to beating Vegito, was unlocking like a mini sandbox mode where you can scale the enemy's health according to however you wanted. You can decrease the amount of enemies there are, like that way you can set it according to what you wanted, and it would incentivize people to want to go from 0 to 100, beat the whole thing, because then they've got a sandbox mode where they can just play around and test units however they saw fit.
A sandbox mode is definitely something that would make Dokkan 20 times better, I think.
Yes. It just kind of goes back to like, I think while the 10th anniversary, had its up and downs, I think there's more so good that's come out of it in terms of the content. We have that, we have this mode where you can fight an enemy for a very long time, see the health bar slowly chip away, but still feel like you're progressing to get to that goal, which is that's I like that. I enjoy that. I don't enjoy the glass cannon enemies that go down right away. But at the same time, again, I understand the appeal of that, and I feel like in battle hardened formidable foes, you can kind of do that. You can still kind of set it up so that
definitely.
those quick blitz.
I actually really enjoy battle hardened for that purpose. Like one issue I think I have personally, it's like I'm not necessarily pushing for the glass cannon-y type stuff like Goku and Frieza. I just feel like with the red zones, for instance, like with Jiren, with like AGL and Int Jiren especially, I think they might have gone a bit too far with it for a fight like that. And maybe with some of these other just red zone final phases, I feel like red zone, I'm fine with it being kind of a happy medium. I just wish I think it might be a bit too in the long direction right now, just because like even units like Fizz SSJ2 Gohan is doing like, if it's just like a normal turn for him, he's doing like a health bar if he's lucky.
Right.
And that's where it just starts to feel kind of like, oh, okay. Am I supposed to feel good about that?
Yeah, and I get that. I get that. Especially for somebody like Gohan, or I think other people have mentioned like the Spirit Bomb duo or the Family Kamehameha. When you build them up to that massive attack, and they shoot that massive attack, and it does like a bar or or less, I get how that doesn't feel really good at all. I do get that. I feel like I said, I think we're in a good place as far as content goes. I just feel like it should be a little more direct on what's what, because the red zones are kind of scattered. Whereas you've got the Jiren, which is it takes a long time to get to him, and then he has like such a massive health bar, and then you've got Goku and Vegeta, who have that massive health bar, but feels like you can beat a lot quicker than it would take having you get to Jiren and beating him.
Yeah, honestly, maybe you could say that Vegeta's story Jiren could be that happy medium, because that strength Jiren and Topo, they can get kind of smacked around.
Yeah, and as long as like as long as it's kind of explained in that way,
maybe
I feel like
maybe the real solution here is we just become Vegeta's story USS advocates.
Yeah, I think that might be it.
Because like I've seen some teams like that didn't have Vegito like kick the shit out of Fizz Topo before. Like even it is still like balanced though, because like in exchange Topo is like really effing scary. Yes, and that's another thing too. It's like it goes to show sometimes you don't even need an enemy to be like super like have this 10 million bajillion HP, but have these different mechanics and have this kind of like stature to it that it'll still challenge you and keep you on your toes. And I like that Topo for that reason, because he's the real threat, not even Jiren. Yeah,
he's
Topo is so
like,
scary. Topo's insane.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I do kind of like that perspective. Like maybe looking at it like that might help my enjoyment of the game some going forward. I'm not gonna lie. Which I'm hoping for, because it's felt a little stale for me the last few weeks.
Yes, I get that. I get that. For me, like I said, I still jump into Festival. That's because that's what I've been waiting for. But I understand if that's not your thing, how you're like, well, what do I do? And then the Cell Celebration, yeah, it was fun, but it's kind of already, now we're stuck waiting for the next thing. So we do need more, I guess in terms of new, I guess. But if you kind of look at it as like, okay, well, we got variety. We've got short term, we've got medium, we've got long. It depends on who you are, like, and how you want to play the game.
Yeah, like I do need to start kind of examining what the gamut of stages like people are going to care about in the discussion are, because that's often a big factor for me. It's like for ninth Annie, arguably a lot of the units around then were kind of Dookie and Cell Max. Like everyone literally worshipped Tech SSJ Vegeta, but he was kind of dookie in Cell Max.
Yep.
But it's
He
just
got destroyed.
at the same time, though, like, I felt it was fair to, like, kind of rate him high in spite of that, mainly because, like, it just felt like no one gave a crap about Cellmax, and I know that's such an arbitrary thing. Like, it just really did feel like that.
The whole argument with Cellmax was, and I was always on the side of counting him, because the argument was, oh, by turn 4 he turns into Putty. Okay, but what about those first few turns? What about turn 1?
The famous gimmick fight discourse.
Yeah.
So my stance on that has always been, if you want to be like an objective bro, right? Like, I'm not really all about that, but like, if you're trying to be like an objective bro and be like, you must, like, the hardest fight is the most important no matter what. Like if you're trying to be an objective bro, Cell Max was the hardest fight. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yes.
And I said that since the beginning. But
absolutely.
But like, I caveated that with, that said, people seem to not like fighting him because he's boring and only a few units work in him, so no one seems to give a crap about him. So, like, I'm fine with that, lol. Was kind of my stance.
That's why I've always been of the mindset of, there are multiple fights. It's not just one. You have to, maybe another fight might not be as difficult, but that doesn't mean that it's not threatening. Like, I guess the era of Goku and Frieza, and then you compare that to like Gogeta and Janemba, those count, because while Gogeta and Janemba might not be the threat that Goku and Frieza are, they're a threat in a different kind of way. Certain units that you can throw
moment there.
Certain units that you can throw into Go Frieza wouldn't be able to prosper right away in Janemba and Gogeta. They might get smacked up, and vice versa. You know what I mean? You always have to take units and kind of rate them fairly, rate them where they're meant to be used, and then see how they do, because certain units might surprise you that way, and you might get certain enjoyment out of it that way, instead of just looking at it as, damn, only this fight counts, nothing else matters.
For sure. Like, I really need to, I think one thing that would benefit me is if I really just sat down and analyzed and decided how much each fight counts to me. Because I do feel like in the Go Frieza meta, I had a really good, like, idea of that, and I think, like, that gave me a better idea of the kinds of things I want to do.
Right.
I feel like it's still pretty nebulous right now, and I do think that might be hurting how I feel about stuff. I think if I really sat down and said, these are the fights I'm willing to say matter, and, like, do clips on and stuff. So...
yeah.
I should probably do that.
And everybody's enjoyment is going to be different. What might bring you most enjoyment probably wouldn't bring it to me, and vice versa. You know, you got to find whatever makes you happiest. And if it's a stage that none of us care about, then hey, it is what it is. I think that there's so many diverse stages now. I really don't think there's a wrong answer, honestly.
Yeah, maybe that's something I'm doing on stream tonight, like doing the boss relevance tier list.
There you go. That'd be cool to see.
I think I might be doing that. I think that's pretty much most of what I wanted to say. Like, I kind of explained why the big HP pools aren't really my thing, but like, I think you kind of talked about, like, if we really look at these bosses, there might be a shoe for each situation you're looking for.
Right.
Which, if you look at it like that I do like that. Like, maybe if I reframe how I'm looking at it like that, I might start to lighten up on some of this.
Yeah, it just, I think that's what they were kind of going for too. It's just to kind of give variety, kind of give you like, well, you might not be into this, but maybe you'll be into this, and maybe you'll want to try a certain unit here, maybe you'll want to try a certain unit there. And I do think, because there was so much thrown at us right out the gate at the 10th anniversary, there's still things we're kind of discovering, like, okay, well, maybe I do enjoy this, maybe I don't enjoy this.
The sheer quantity that the 10th anniversary has in basically every regard is definitely unsurpassable.
Yeah.
The sheer quantity.
They definitely...
The
They threw
arguments seem to
everything at
come
us.
in about the 10th anniversary when it comes to the quality, but like, you know, when you think about I do think we need to really analyze these fights and decide what we think matters.
Yes, absolutely.
Although that's going to be very controversial, especially with Festival existing.
Yes, and I do think, and that's just a quick side thing. I do think that's creating a lot of stigma for us. Again, I know that a lot of discourse was around Vegito, and I really don't think Vegito's the catalyst. I think it's Festival. I think they created Vegito with the mindset of he needs to be the anchor for Festival. They want him to be the anchor for Festival.
Although to be fair, I've beaten it without him. Although I've used him, I've used the unit, but like I Patara broke.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that creates a new challenge because yes, Vegito's damage is just out there. It's crazy. But if you want to challenge yourself, just break the Patara, run the Goku or the Vegeta, and then let the other units shine. Let them do their thing. Because Gogeta's damage is up there too. Granted, obviously not that high, but it's up there too. Maybe you want to see him shine. Just break the Patara and let him do his thing.
Stacking up Goku to absurd attack stats is pretty damn fun.
Yes, it is. Oh yeah, it is.
And I would agree with that. I don't really like, as much as I've been like using him as an avatar for the problem, I don't really think he is the problem. Like, you could maybe argue some of the HP pools are because of him.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, you know, there might be some ground to that, but like
I do think, yes, I think they had it in mind. Like, if you're going to Vegito, we don't want you to annihilate the boss in one go. We want to kind of give him some health to play around with. But it's like, somebody for me, I like that because then I say, you know what? Let me break the Patara and let the other units shine. And let them like kick some ass.
Yeah. We were talking about. I don't really think he's the issue, but I do think he's a good avatar of the issue because it's like it just makes me upset when there's design decisions like SSJ2 Gohan losing half his kit like 5 turns into the battle. Like, how am I supposed to believe that was necessary when Tech Vegito exists?
That should have been an active skill or a standby or something. That should have been a decision you make. You keep Gohan the way he is, or you like combine that into one super duper attack after the active skill, but not forced. It does suck when it's forced.
Yeah, and it's just like he just feels like nothing when he loses that to me.
Yeah.
Like, his active turn is still pretty sick, to be fair.
Oh no, 100%, it's great, but it's, again, you shouldn't have to like then go into this arguably weaker version of Gohan. Yes, it's one big attack set it's fantastic, but then he loses all that defense and doesn't even kill the enemy. When you lose that amount of defense for offense, you need to kill the enemy. Because
and
if
also
you don't, then you're
just
sitting
like drenching that pre-intro Gohan in support is just so fun.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, what if they
which you can do in
break?
BHFF, which I'm happy about.
Absolutely. You think it would have helped if they gave him an attack break? Do you think?
I'm not saying
maybe
no. Sheesh. The main thing that just drives me insane is the additionals thing, just because it's like it's like they actively took that away from you.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't feel good at all.
And it's just like, what is your excuse for this when Tech Vegito exists? Please tell me.
Yep, 100%. And I think, and we brought it up before, why are we not? We shouldn't be arguing whether Gohan barely makes the top 10. We should be arguing who's better, Gohan or Super Saiyan 4 Goku.
I don't know about
that. It's not like that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I feel like he should be up there. Yeah,
he should.
Goku,
yeah, actually, I agree with that 100%. Like, if all the anti-LRs were like on the level of Super Saiyan 4 Goku, if those four were like arguing against each other and they were just elevated to him, perfect.
Yep.
Mwah.
Absolutely.
Because like SSJ 4 Goku is amazing everywhere. He's like arguably like a top 3 unit for BHFF with that giant mode and getting rid of those AoEs. he's like, I don't think he's necessarily too special in Red Zone, but like at the same time, he's just, you know, he's still really good. He just has really decent stats, and support's really cool. And in Festival, you know, he's one of the few units that just like kind of dominates it. Like he's not really doing the most damage, but like what he does for like just the rotation of him and G4 is pretty fearsome.
Yep, absolutely. And I, like you've said before, he's fun to use, and that's the most important.
Oh,
the unit has to be fun to use.
Yeah, Gohan's fun to me in BHFF. Outside of that is where I start to have issues. Although that's where I start to have issues, I think.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got to say on the topic.
Yeah, I said everything I need to say.
All right, well, that sounds great. I think that was a good and productive talk, actually.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's giving me a platform to be able to talk about this. It's always fun.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. Catch y'all next time.